We remember today Saints Peter and Paul, who guided the early church just after the time of Jesus. Both died as martyrs for the faith in Rome in the early 60s, just after 30 years of Jesus' death. Peter was crucified upside down in the courtyard to the left of St. Peter's Basilica, and St. Paul was beheaded between Rome and the sea in a place now called Tre Fontane. Each of these two saints are important for different reasons. Peter is important because he was the first pope and kept the church united, which was growing very rapidly in the years following Pentecost. But as time went on, St. Paul began to preach also to non-Jews, the Gentiles as they were called. Whenever you see the statues of St. Peter and Paul, usually Peter is holding a key, symbolizing his duty as a head of the church. And remember the call of St. Peter, "Follow me, I will make you the fishers of men." And St. Paul is holding the Bible, symbolizing his preaching. It is interesting to note the personalities of both Peter and Paul. Peter was impetuous, telling Jesus that he would die with him on Holy Thursday night if necessary. But later that night he denied. Who also remember Peter's objection to Jesus' prediction that he would suffer and die in Jerusalem? And Jesus said, "Get behind me, Satan, because the way you think is man's way and not God's way." Yet, what made Peter a suitable candidate for Jesus' call was his love. So 3 times Jesus asked him if he loved him and asked him to look after the flock. And St. Paul was a controversial character in his own way. He had a fiery personality. In his early life, he channeled that fire towards persecuting the Christians in Jerusalem, even witnessing the death of Stephen, the first martyr for Jesus. And here, we must remember the story of conversion of St. Paul. The moment St. Paul fell to the ground, the question asked to Jesus, "Who are you, Lord?" The reply of Jesus, "I am Jesus whom you are persecuting." And just to know the reality, Paul spent 10 years in Tarsus before he began his preaching. It was a time for him to cool down and learn what the death and resurrection of Jesus meant for him and meant for each one of us. Why did God call Paul? Paul was a highly educated Pharisee, and it would be only someone like him who could see that faith in Jesus demanded a totally new relationship with God for Jews. And also, he had a very strong personality which he needed to help the Jews to accept that Jesus was the Savior of all the people. And that because of Jesus, there is no difference between Jews and Gentiles. And coming back to our theme for today, who do you say that I am? This question cuts right to the heart of things. It pins us down. We either have to tell the truth or tell a pretty good lie. There is no room for some vague, non-committal response. On this day, as we ponder the feast of St. Peter and Paul, that dramatic moment at Caesarea Philippi, he puts that question to each of us. We have the answer, because the answer has been formulated by generations of those who have gone before us, marked with the sign of faith. But today, he doesn't ask for a formula we have received. Jesus asks each one of us what we actually believe. He asks us for the truth, and we can't fool him. This solemnity of Saints Peter and Paul is about how faith in Jesus engages each and every one of us. In that church, these two apostles handed on the faith which has been lived down the centuries and across the nations. This is the same faith which we try to live each day. And now, what your answer is? Who do you say that I am? St. Peter replies, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Jesus does a strange thing here. He answers Peter by telling him who he is. "You are Peter, and on this rock I build my church." One of the awkward things about the question Jesus put to Peter, "Who do you say that I am?" is that it reflects back on ourselves. It makes us ask ourselves, who am I? If we really believe that Jesus is the Son of God, one who died for us, if we really let this great love impinge on us, then obviously it forces us to look at ourselves. Who do you say that I am? Coming from Jesus, the one who died for us, the Son of God, this question demands that I have an answer within me about myself. People say all sorts of things about me. Some words will be easy to hear, whereas others will not be so comfortable. If it is people who know me, and what they say about me will never define me, there will always be more to me. The call of God is surprising, because God can see deeper than we can. God knows us through and through. He knows the answer to that question about me. He knows who I am in truth. As we look at the personalities of St. Peter and Paul, we see that God called them to use their personalities to spread the gospel. Peter to use his impetuous love to look after the flock, and St. Paul to use his training as a Pharisee and his strength of character to ensure that non-Jews would be welcomed into the church. And it is a reminder to each and every one of us that our talents and our weaknesses can become God's means of helping others who are in need, if we allow. We don't have to be perfect for God to work through us. God can work through us and our faults and everything else, as he did with Peter and Paul. Just spend a few seconds in silence. Let the Spirit of the Lord go into us and anoint us, to change us, to transform us, to be the great witnesses of his gospel and his love.